Well, hello. It seems to have been quite a long time since I've been on here. I kept thinking each week I want to do another YouTube, drop in, say hello to everybody, and the time has simply flown. It probably was end of November since I was last here, which is just crazy. There are various reasons for it, nothing big or major, but I will share them with you because it's about the creative process and something I think might be useful to you. So I'm going to share why I've not been able to chat with you or felt I could and filming, and share some of the recent makes, of which there haven't been lots. It's mainly about my Patreon and some of my current ideas, you know, things that I'm thinking of doing to move myself forward. And then I think other chats, I'll show you some of the things I found. I still haven't shown you around this space. I'm thinking now it's less exciting than it was before because I'm getting very used to just being in this room. So let's catch up first of all with where I've been at. So I shared with you in my last chat about all of the things that I was making, had made, planning to make, and yeah, I got on with that. I think I showed you this red jersey, so it's the Maven Pattern Somerset t-shirt. It's got really big bishop sleeves and deep cuffs, but I've covered it with the Bloomsbury jacket that I made for my Patreons. I can't think when, probably September, something like that, September last year. So yeah, I've got this over top for a bit of coziness and a bit of glamour, and then just jeans on the bottom. So that's what I'm wearing today. On Foxy Lady, my mannequin over there, I've got this month's Patreon project, and I don't know if I'm going to get this edited and uploaded before that or the other way around. So I'm not sharing any sneak peeks just in case, because my patrons at Bobo Buns Sewing Club love a surprise, and who am I to spoil those surprises? So that's what's going on over there. In December, for my patrons, their first project was a beautiful cream, sort of ivory cream, with stand collar capelet. It was like, I called it a tippet with a velvet bow ribbon, and that's in the other room hanging up. But I have got in here the matching hand muff that I made to go with it. That has a little purse in here, so you'd undo this cream bow that decorates the front to access your purse that's hidden inside all of the quilting, the blush quilting that I did all in a diamond shape. So that's really cosy for your hands to go with your capelet. And I really enjoyed sharing this with them and yeah, making it. So that's kept me toasty. And obviously you could put a bottle in. I did a chat all about how they kept warm in the past and about muffs, hand muffs, tippets, capes, and so forth. So that's that, and it just kind of feels like my pet rabbit in the room. It's just a really funny sort of thing. And then that was December's project, and then we've just had January, haven't we? I looked at all things lingerie. I thought, let's move over to our undergarments. Rather than think about getting warm, let's think about luxury now. And I had a really jolly time. I've still got to finish sewing this in because life is just so busy that I get halfway through things. But I made a slip, so I showed them how to pattern cut a mid-century slip. And this has got lovely straps, you know, shoestring straps. And yeah, it's a bias cut slip, and it's in original lingerie fabric from Donna Flower Fabrics, Vintage Fabrics. And it's a 6-gauge skirt, but the waist, it comes up under the bust, so it's Empire line with princess seams that have all been French seams, so really pleased with that. So all I've got to do is to sew the lining of the bodice in, and then I can be using this slip. So it's really remiss of me not to do that, isn't it? But obviously I've got to say what's been going on with my sewing, why I'm slowed up. I think I've shown you, maybe I didn't. I show things on Instagram where I do Bobo in the boudoir and I get confused, and I've not been talking to you, so I haven't shown you this. December, I bought this marvellous fabric from Minerva. One of my students in my Friday sewing club had made a dress out of this, and I love pink, I love black, and I love teal, and I love leopard print. So of course I wanted to get some of this fabric. Now Minerva is not one of my favourite sites. It's not a name and shame, but you know, I had some really bad experiences with them, with customer service being terribly rude about some dirty cloth that I'd got that got boot prints on it. And I just find it a really hard site to use. They've got amazing fabrics. I think they've got a really, really good selection. I've got no issue with that at all. I just find it really hard to navigate because there's almost so much. And trying to find this, I didn't find it in a normal leopard print search, but I found it, can't remember, I just googled some indirect sort of link, I think with pink and blue leopard print. So yeah, I do find it hard for that. So it was down to me knowing this was on there. But I was inspired by the Oh Pioneers dress, how they have, I mean, I've made this because I did a Bieber dress for my patrons in October based on a dress that I'd seen in the exhibition last March with a stand collar and a basic bodice, and it's very similar to Vampire's Wife's dresses. I mean, they're all, everything's inspired by everything else. However unique we feel we want to be, we're not, because we're inspired by the past if we're vintage seamstresses. So, which brings me back to something, a very dear friend who lives in Belfast. She messaged me recently, we haven't spoken for a little while, and we were talking about various things, and she said, I mean, don't be offended, but I thought it was really funny. I wasn't offended. She said, "You're the most authentic bitch I know." And because I was saying that my creativity feels that it's dried up a little bit at the moment. And she said, you know, you're someone who really has got original ideas, you know, and you get out there and create them. But we are still inspired by, you know, Schiaparelli, Chanel, all of these things, and we all come from the same melting pot. You know, and then obviously there's contemporary designers, some of the elements of what they work on inspire us, but they've been inspired by similar people to us. So none of it is copying, is it? It's just all going into this collective melting pot of ideas. And sometimes, you know, we move over to others, but I think we've all got different colour palettes, shapes, lifestyles, yeah, the way we want to do things. So as I say, I was inspired by Oh Pioneers, that's what that all came from, in terms of them using a little bit of black as a contrast, because I've made blouses with this stand collar. This is a shorter stand collar than the one I did for the Bieber dress in October, but on my toile I'd done it short with a frill like this. I changed it, so I am going to show my patrons how to do this collar one day, very soon. And then it's the Vampire's Wife bodice with the French darts. I'll lay this against me. And then bishop sleeves that I've shown my patrons how to make. But I've just got to put the cuff on the bottom. That's all I've got to do with this dress. And then it's a long A-line skirt with a black frill at the bottom to match the black ruffle at the neckline. And then there's a lovely little button at the back, and I've got to just sew the loop to close it. And then I can actually wear this dress. So I can't believe, I mean, it's hardly anything to finish up, is it? But yeah, I've still got to finish that. In terms of other sewing, I really want more trousers. I feel since I've been living here, it's so much colder. We're having quite a cold winter, and I'm just loving some of the trousers I'm seeing out there. I wear my 40s style trousers, slim and then wide-legged, and my 1950s jeans a lot, but I just want something a little bit more casual. I definitely don't like the barrel leg jeans, whatever they're called, in contemporary. I think they look ghastly. I'm really sorry, but just awful. My mother had some mum jeans, and I just said, look, it looks like you need to lose weight because they're just all saggy on your backside and look awful. I like things that are a flattering cut, you know. It's all down to the individual, isn't it? Now, in one of my sewing classes, someone had this pattern, the Pegs by Merchant & Mills, and this is the kind of trouser I want to make, but we took in the sides so it wasn't so jodhpuri. But I fancy making something like this, you know, in a nice coloured twill, just to wear my boots, and then rolled up with my Converse in the summer, stripy t-shirts, you know, something that's got that sort of 40s sportswear, early 50s relaxed casual vibe, and will look lovely with jumpers in the winter time. So I need to buy this pattern. I'm trying to decide whether I get the PDF and print it off, which is or which I used to love doing, or just buy the blinking pattern, which I probably will do. And the only alteration I want to make, which is no quibble with the pattern, is to do a curved waistband. I'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, these worked really well. So I knew I wanted to buy this pattern because I loved how they looked on her. But the reason I want to do a curved waistband is most waistbands on patterns are cut in the way they're cut for men. You know, they're oblong, a long straight strip. Now as women, we go in like this. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, how wide or narrow you are, but we go in. So we've got a lower waist measurement and a upper waist measurement that tends to be slightly smaller than the lower waist measurement. Someone in my sewing class did say though that the curved waistband is my I've not been eating biscuits waistband, and I've had to take that off and put that I've been eating lots of biscuits waistband, which is the oblong one, because she's gone more like that. So it's kind of like a not eating biscuits or been eating biscuits waistband, if that makes sense. But to make the curved waistband then fits the curve of our women's bodies, so you don't get fabric standing where your body's here and you've got a gap you can put your hand down. Does that make sense? So all you need to do is to, if it's flat at the front and the back, you just pinch it. So it's like taking a dart out. You pinch the fabric and then you'd sew that, remove that, and your waistband will end up curved, and you'd make a new pattern from that curved waistband. So you'd have to have two, you know, facing and a outer to join together. That is not really a detailed way of showing you how to make a curved waistband. I'm just giving you an overview of the difference, where the straight one, you know, is designed more for men, as a lot of patterns were originally first drafted, designed for men. Now in terms of me wanting to make trousers, I do want some more jeans, so I bought this fabulous denim, which is now all washed. Bought this fabulous denim this week, so I'm going to make myself some more jeans, and then I want to get some coloured twill to make these peg trousers when I've got the pattern. Something else I have got recently, I've got some amazing sewing books that I will show you in the next video. Yeah, I had a wonderful haul, I think that was December time. But I've also found these. It's a Blackmore's jacket pattern, and it's original 1940s pattern for this lovely little jacket here. And it does say on the bottom here, professional dressmakers making garments for sale are reminded that they must comply with the making of civilian clothing restrictions of order. And then I can't see any more than that. So that proves that this was a 1940s make to amend pattern. So I was really excited to find that. And this is not dissimilar to some coat patterns I've got. It's a Leroy pattern, but I just love the illustration, and I think it's rather a lovely simple coat, sort of a duster coat. So yeah, I may make that one day. Too, this I've got some green fabric that actually would really suit that now. See, brain going. It's the same with the leopard print dress. I thought, I've not had inspiration for a while, and then we were talking about it in sewing class, and I thought, I like that fabric, I know what I'm going to do, and then I've just not finished it. So I've got various ideas of things, but I'm trying to be good about what I actually need. I'm trying to be more considered and stand back. So I'm making projects for my Patreon, which is things I really want to make, but I'm trying not to make too many extras, if that makes sense. And as I'm doing that, I'm finding the gaps more in my wardrobe. Now, in terms of why I've not been here a while, it's so different being here. Back living in my mum's house at the moment, it's called the single person's tax. You know, on your own, it's very hard to afford to get a property, you know, to rent or to buy. And through life circumstances, I've ended up where I am financially, and on just my income alone, I can't afford a house. So it is what it is. But I'm not homeless. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a lovely place to live. So I can't complain. But it is obviously very different for me being a grown-up, you know. To be blunt, you know, like, I can't bring a man back to my bedroom, you know, which is sort of like I'm suddenly a teenager again. You know, have someone over for dinner, you know, because my mother's there. It's just all very different. But I think we're all muddling along as best we can. But I work and sleep in this room, and then to go and cut out my patterns, to film overhead, to do anything, I need to go through to the kitchen, which is way down the other end of the house, and then I'm taking all my stuff through. Then I go, oh, I forgot that, and I can't. Where before I used to do everything in the same room, sew, work, film. It was all, everything was in the same room. It was so much easier, and I'm finding that's having an effect on my creativity, as is only having this room. I haven't got a whole house with my things that inspire me, that I can photograph things against, do my Instagram. So I've just found at the moment I'm taking a step back from it and just trying to find my way with this new way of being, and I know I will work through it, and then it will just all go ping and it'll make sense, because throughout the 40 years I've been sewing, it's always gone in like a wheel, you know, and it'll come down to the bottom and I'll have a quiet period, and then suddenly it'll start to go up and my head will fizz with ideas and it'll be an explosion and it'll carry on, and then it'll just relax down again. So I'm not afraid of those lean periods anymore. And also my knitting, you know, my cardigan, I've just got to do the button band and the collar on one of the cardigans. I've got so much lovely wool for lots of other projects, and I don't have a living room that I sit in of an evening where I used to knit, and so I come through to my bedroom so I can play music, because my mum does not like music at all. It's different to me, and I need music on. It's my white noise, and then I turn it up loud and it inspires me, so I want music on. So I'm in my room a lot, and then I think, well, I might as well get in bed, and then I start to feel tired and the knitting goes. So yeah, this is where I'm at. I have literally got to find the way through, because my whole life is about being creative. My business is about being creative, and I'm here to want to inspire you. But I thought, actually, wouldn't it be good to be honest with you, because I'm sure you've had these blips at times, and why am I going to pretend that I'm something I'm not? I'm not. So this is where I'm at with my creativity. The other thing that's holding me back from YouTube and everything else is I've started toying with dating. Yeah, and I have been seeing a very lovely man. So yeah, who knows where any of that will go. So yeah, I'm not going to say any more than that. So yeah, all sorts of things going on, but yeah, friends, trying out the dating thing. That's using up some of my free time that I would normally be sewing in. So it is as it is, but yeah, I aim to get back. I thought, let's get back in the YouTube saddle, chat to all you lovely people out there, and hope you're still there. And if you are, thank you so much for hanging about for me and waiting. But fingers crossed, I'm going to get a bit more organised from now on, and I'll join you for more chats. So I'm going to close the curtain now and get on with the rest of my day and allow you to get on with yours. So until I see you again very soon, bye bye for now, lovelies.